the stream started correctly. Let's verify. Yep, I see it there. That's a good sign. Let's post that. So far, so good. As always, I'm just going to let this sit here for a few minutes and see if it decides to wreck itself. You never can tell. That's true. You really just don't know. Really don't know. All right. But so far, I see it's receiving all of the data correctly. It's a good sign. That's a good sign. Post here. And we'll post right there. Okay, now we can close Discord out. All right. That's still going. Do I see video? I don't see video, but oh no, yes I do. I do see video. So now I can activate this. Okay. And switch to live chat and activate this. Activate. And switch to live. Hello, Furcorn. How are you? Just give me a second. I'm starting things up, but I did see your message, I believe, if that was a current message. Yeah, it must have been because that was in a new window. Okay, so now I have to click this. There it is. Okay, and I heard a beep, so that's a good sign, I think. Oh, that's weird. It doesn't work. Well, that's okay. Okay, so I think everything's working. Let's do a quick test. Test 1. And let's verify. There, I see it. Okay, that's working. Let's go to this window and say test 2. And I see that one. And finally, test 3. All right, let's see. I'm good. Thank you for asking. I'm doing all right, especially because so far, everything seems to have powered up correctly in the right order. So let's go ahead and roll the opening, and then we'll see if reflector shows up properly, which that's an easy fix if it doesn't. I know how to fix that. We'll see in a second. I do have it it's not oriented properly, so let me turn it. Nope, yep, it's not. Okay. Well, that's easy. That figures every other time it's shown up, but that's okay. It's not a big deal because all I have to do is come into here. This is actually probably the easiest thing to fix because all I do is I check this box and I come down to here and it will show up with the word iPad. Or, yeah, there it is. Oh, it didn't reorient itself. Hold on. Hey, Skippy. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for stopping by. I am doing all right. I hope you are too. I'm working on a little something different. Well, I'm in the middle of a couple things. Actually, I'm going to get a sip of water. Wait a minute. Why didn't the screen update? Tell me it lost the connection right when I did that. Hold on. No, it says that's weird. Why didn't the thing update for everybody else? It's updated for me. Oh, hold on. Because I rotated my screen, but for some reason it's not showing that it rotated. So let's make sure. Well, that's interesting. Hold on. Well, you know what? Okay, there we go. Let me bring it back. Hold on a second. Let's see if that did it. There we go. Let's see. Zoom in. Ah, fixed it. There we go. Okay, now I got a drink of water. That's what I intended to do. Oh, let me silence my phone. It's about to go screaming at me. Okay. Let's see. So, all right. I think we're good there. So I can close this window. And I can close. I don't need to keep all these windows open. So close this. Close all this. And let me just verify. That looks okay. That looks okay. Give me 2 seconds. I just want to make sure. Because I'm actually somewhat disturbed by how smoothly this went. So I'm just making sure it's actually working. Because I don't trust it. I'm so used to there being, no, I see it. Okay, good. Everything's working. All right. I don't trust it now because it usually doesn't open. It doesn't work that well. Okay, so what I'm doing here is there's a podcast, video podcast called Twit, which is short for This Week in Tech. And they are celebrating their 1000th episode on Sunday. So as of this live stream, anybody who's watching this live stream, what does that whole dot mean? Oh, because it's telling me that my screen is being shared. Oh, that's something new. Anyway, they're doing their 1000th episode, and I had the thought, I should, doodle a little something for it because I did one for their 20th anniversary. And originally I thought, oh, I can draw 1,000 candles, which was never going to happen. That was never, ever, ever going to happen. So then I thought, oh, well, I can just put the 1,000, 1000 candles and draw that. But I tell you, I don't know where I came up with this idea that I was going to draw 1,000 candles. That was ridiculous to begin with. So yeah, that's not going to happen. And it was never going to happen. I don't know what was on my head that I thought, or what was in my brain that made me think I could even do that, because it was never, ever, ever going to happen. Furcon, go ahead. You can say whatever you want. I may not see all of it because I'm going to be drawing this, but go for it. Okay, let's see. So anyway, that's what this is, because I want to try to get this done by Sunday. Oh, you know what? I can turn those background layers off. I just need to see this right now. There we go. So, yeah. So this should not take long, really, which is fine because I had this little block of time. And normally I do my streams on Thursdays, but Thursday did not work out this week. It's been a weird week time-wise. There's just been blocks of time. I probably could have done a stream last night, but by the time I really figured out, okay, I think I have enough time, I didn't want to start it and then realize, oh no, I don't have enough time. It's one of those type of things. Sometimes I just don't know exactly when I'm going to have the time. But today actually worked out well, so I thought, you know what? Just do it today. Just do it today. Bit of a weird time. I usually do it later, but I had the time, so yeah. Well, I'm happy to hear you have an eventful Friday night. That's great. I am at the point in my life, I am of an age where eventful is not a word I like to hear, but that's okay. I have an eventful tomorrow because I'm going to be on a live Halloween special show. I'm not saying that's negative. I'm just kind of kidding. That's great. Happy that anybody has things to do. I'm going to reverse this like this. Okay. But I'm going to be on a Halloween special tomorrow where I'm going to be in costume. Somewhat. It's not going to be a very complicated costume. I love October. I really like Halloween. I don't like getting into costume, dressing up, all that stuff normally. I just don't. It's not really for me. But I said I would do this one. Now, let's see. I'm going to basically take one of these and I'm going to replicate it because that makes it easier. Okay, so let's do this. So tomorrow will be busy. Hey, you know what? That's awesome. I mean, when you're in college, it is great to have a busy Friday. Believe me, I remember that. Friday at college is weekends when you're in college can be, depending on whether you have tests and stuff, is either really stressful or really fun. Sometimes both. Actually, many times both. You know what? I'm just going to do this one by hand. I'm not going to bother trying to do it straight because I don't think it's ever going to look right. Let's do it like this. Oh, you know what? That's right. I mirrored this one. Let me get the canvas thing up here. Let's go to symmetry and let's bring that in here because this I should do. Let's move that up. Okay, hold on. Right there. Okay, here we go. Where is it called? Where it gives you XP and diamonds and coins. We do those steps in the quest. Oh yeah, most games have that kind of special. Wait a minute. Yeah, the special rewards thing, which I don't mind. I know some people don't like special rewards in games, that they think it's, you should get the same XP for everything. I sort of get that, but I also don't mind when they have special events that do special rewards. That's okay, as long as it's not making it really difficult to play. Damn, can I get that straight? Hold on a minute. There we go. Then I don't mind it. I think special event stuff can be really neat. I like when they do the different themed things for different holidays and times of the year. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, there we go. And then I gotta do the internal circle right here. But yeah, college is, I have good and bad memories of it. I hated the actual schooling and the classes and everything because I was just never good at it. Even for art school, I wasn't a great student, which is pretty pathetic, but it's just the way that it was. But got to meet a lot of really great people there. A lot of really good artists. People I still know now, that type of thing. Did this talk show podcast give you a template, or did you come? No, they didn't give me a template. I had made essentially this base image. I was actually there for one of their final, the second, they did 2 last shows where audience members were allowed to be there, and then they closed the studio because it just wasn't, it didn't make sense to keep paying for a studio. And so I was at the second to last one, and I drew an entire image over the course of the about 2.5 hour, 3 hour show, which was this cake image, except it wasn't, it was that, this is the color I'm doing for the show, this was the color for that. And I drew it over the course of that show. And so I'm using that base cake image because I had done it for the other episode of Twit for this one, and I'm just adding the 1,000. And I have this idea of how to do like the candle light, which is going to actually kind of be a negative space thing. I think I know how it's going to work. We'll see. If nothing else, I'll still have it with the 1,000, and then I'll put some, writing like, congratulations, Twit, something like that. I actually have a congratulations text from something else, but I think I'll do a new one. That's going to be the last step because, just writing is easy. Easier, I should say. It's not easy, but it's easier. Oops, sorry, I hit the mic there. Okay, so now let's do another assist because I'm going to be using this one. Let's drop this down. So no, this wasn't a template. This is, or it's my own template, I guess I should say. So friend code is how it works. You go to YouTube, type up friends code MSM. It shows you other people from. Oh, that's neat. Oh crap! Did I just do that? No. Why is that show? Oh, because I put this on. Turn that back off. Yeah. So this isn't really this is my own template that I'm using as far as the actual cake, and then the candles. I just looked up an image of birthday candles for to get the numbers, and then just basically drew. These are just standard candles as far as, birthday candle numbers. Nothing too special to that, which is why they look exactly like you would expect normal birthday candles to look. Fade that down. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, no, this is on an iPad using a program called Procreate, which I've used, almost since I've had the iPad, to be honest, because I do have Photoshop, and I use that on my desktop, but honestly, as much as I like Photoshop, and I do like Photoshop quite a bit, I've been using Photoshop now for, I don't even know how many years I've used it. I've used it for a long time, but their iPad apps just have not impressed me. So I've stuck with Procreate because this has worked from the very beginning of me using it. Really, what made the iPad work was the Apple Pencil. Initially, they didn't have that. If you may not remember, but originally, they did not have the Apple Pencil with the functions that it has now. And without that, it did not work. So, well, thanks, Furquan, for putting your friend code in there. So without the Apple Pencil, it was not, it just wasn't really a art device. And then once they added that really changed things. But, honestly, and as far as coming up with the idea, where that really came from was because I knew that it was going to be impossible. Not impossible, but it would take so long to draw 1,000 candles. That I just knew it wasn't workable. And so rather than just not do anything, I was like, well, I can do something. I just have to, I just want to move the canvas. I don't like how it does that. Procreate doesn't do everything perfectly, as you can see, but it does most things very well. So I don't complain about the little things because it does so much right that I really can't complain. It accomplishes most things. There's only a few little things that it doesn't do that I wish it did. Like, it doesn't have a shapes tool, which I would imagine they're probably working on. So that would be great if they had that. If you have an iPad, there are free apps that are perfectly good. There's one called Paper, which I think is still around. I think that one's still free. Try that. You don't have to. If you're not really using it all the time, there are free apps that will work fine. I just don't think Procreate has one. I'm pretty sure they do not have a free app. But honestly, unless you're doing a lot of artwork, I don't think you necessarily need Procreate because, look, there's a lot of stuff it does that I don't even do. that I don't use. So I think if you're just going to be playing around with it, I think there's plenty of free apps that will let you do what you need to do. So you do not need to pay for an app. You can just find, like I said, Paper, I believe, starts free. And then there are, if I remember correctly, you buy like different pens and pencils. But the base tools, which I want to say there's 5 or 6, which are a pen, a pencil, the basic stuff, they're all free. Or at least they were. I haven't used Paper in a while because I needed more than it could do. But that was me. I would say see if it's still free. But if it's not, I guarantee you there's other ones that are. Procreate I like a lot because it's not a subscription model. You just pay for it once and you're done. And then you pay for upgrades if you want them, which I think is really the way that most apps should go. And I just got through saying that I like Photoshop. Adobe has, their subscription models, which a lot of people still don't like, that they don't have better standalone support. I would agree with that. Yeah, Paper, there you go. Yeah, I used Paper for a long time. And I never thought it was a bad program. Like I said, I just got to a point where I needed more than it could do. And that's, that was just me. But yeah, Paper was good. I liked it. It was simple. It was straightforward. You didn't have to, there weren't a bunch of menus to dig through. It just kind of showed you a piece of paper and you just drew whatever you wanted to draw, which I think is, like I said, if you're just playing around and you want to get started, that's the way to do it. So yeah, I liked Paper. Paper was good. All right, let's group these together. Okay, so that's that. All right, so let's move this. Oh, that's one group. Oh, yeah, because I resized it. That's right. Okay, so let me think about this. So now for the flames, I'm going to do something I don't usually do, which is I'm going to use just the color, and I'm going to switch to the taper brush because I have an idea for this. Okay, so I'm going to change the background color to be a gray because I want to be able to see this. White is great for a lot of things, but as you would expect, it blows everything out, so it makes it tough if you're trying to see fine lines sometimes. So what I want to do is something like this. Oh, thanks, Skippy. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, have a great Friday, man. Have a great time. Enjoy your weekend. And, I'd say stay out of trouble, but maybe that's the point. Maybe you're looking to get into trouble. Just don't get in any trouble that gets you hurt. Other than that, have a great time. Enjoy your weekend. Again, thank you for stopping by. And we'll see you the next time you can stop in. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. Thanks again for coming by. Okay. See, so I'm going to use the colors on this. Ooh, that worked out all right. Wow. I didn't think it was going to work that well. Okay, and so we'll do one here too. So, whoop, okay. All right, take care, Skippy. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought would happen. Whoop. Oh, all right, that works. That works. These don't have to be perfect because they are supposed to be flames. So a little bit of a imperfection isn't bad. Oh, there. Got it. Okay. So now let's switch back to here. We'll fill this in. We're going to do some changes in the color on the flames to show where the hot and colder parts are. So you can see there's little marks there for that. We'll get to that. But right now we're good just doing this. So that's our flames. That actually worked out really well. And then the actual candles. Let's take a look. Where are the edge? Oh, I have to put the edge lines back on because. Oh no, I didn't. There they are. Okay, so that's where those are. Okay. So we want those to go kind of right there. Then we need our sticks. So let's turn this back off so I can see where the sticks will go. So we'll put that right there. We'll switch back to black. Switch back to this pen. And we'll go to, let's go to 8. Now this one I can just copy and paste because this is not a hugely tough little thing. So let's go ahead and do one of those. Oh, wait, you know what? Before I do that, there we go. Oh, all right, hold on a minute. I'll be back in 2 seconds, everybody. Okay, everybody, here I am. Sorry, I just had to go on mute for a second because I was talking to my wife. She was just checking in. So I just wanted to make sure everything was okay. Whoa, wait a minute. I forgot. I got to switch back to... There it is. Oh, okay, so are the Halloween monsters... Are those there all the time, or are those seasonal? Do they come and go? Because I know some of those things, some of the special creatures will come only for a certain amount of time and then go. And then other ones are there all the time. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I'm just going to check this. So that's the sticks. Okay, I got the sticks. Okay, so then I've got to pick a color for... for the candles themselves. Let me, in the background here, you won't see this, but I'm just going to pull up the website for this channel, which is twit.tv, and I want to look at their colors. Yeah, it's the only thing is they only have a certain... Well, you know what? Actually, they have that color. Let me see here what I want to do. Oh, that's good. I'm glad they do that. I know some places do those limited, you know, where they only do it for a certain amount of time, and I get it, and that's fine, but I tend to like when they, you know, if they have good designs, I think you should see them all the time. So that's good. I'm glad they do them past Halloween, because I know some do. And seasonal stuff's okay. I don't mind seasonal things, but I also think that if you have good designs for your creatures, then they should really be all the time. Oh, you know what? I know what I can do. I can use the color of this cake. There we go. Because, okay, I'm gonna sign out of this. I don't need this. I don't need you. Okay, close. Thank you. Okay, that's right. I can just do that, so I can close this window. I can use this other color. Okay, because you're not gonna see that color. You're only going to see, let me switch back to multi-stream, there we go, to this, so that means this color works, so I can use this. Okay, got it. Yep, that'll work. And then I can just make like a darker version or a lighter version of it. Yep, that's going to work fine. Okay, so I can turn this off. Let's fill this in. Yep, that'll work, because this is one of their colors too. It's just that I forgot that the other cake is going to be darker now. So that's fine. We can absolutely do that. I could use the red too, but I don't know. You know, I could use the red as an outline. That wouldn't be terrible, to use the red as the outline. Let's see. Well, let's one step at a time. Let's get a color in here, and then I can decide what I want to do as far as the outlining of it. So hold on, let's just go ahead and let's get this colored in. Whoop. And then we'll figure it out from there. It's not like anything's permanent either. I can always change these if I decide I don't like them. That's easy to do. Now here's the trick on this one. Because I copied this number to the other things, once I fill this in, you know what, I have to fix that. That's really, really bugging me now. There's just this little thing right there. I've got to fix this. I don't like that little dot thing there. I'm just going to shave that off. There we go. Because that's just going to bug me if I don't take care of it. It's probably this one. Yep. So see, I copied it. So I have to find this one. I have to shave that little guy off. Just because it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right to me. So, something doesn't look right. Gotta fix it. Has to get fixed, or it'll just keep bugging me forever. But now it's fixed. So back here, go here, go here, go here. All right, let's keep filling this in. And I can copy this. So this will save me a little time. Because those other zeros are the same exact thing. So, there's no need to redo the same work. That's the thing. Is if it's not, when it comes to anything like this, if you're going to do any type of artwork or any type of creative, anything, it doesn't matter, anything. There's no reason to redo work if it's not going to actually get you anything. Because I used to have this attitude where I would want to fill each of these zeros in by hand because I felt like I was cheating or shortcutting things if I didn't. But the reality is they're going to look exactly the same. There's no reason not, there's no benefit to it. There's nothing that you get out of it. Now, this is the interesting part is I got to move these over this. And then what I'm going to probably do is something like, oh, I don't know. Maybe a screen or a color down. There's a way to do it. Something like that. See? So you can see the yellow, but it also shows the color underneath because flame isn't necessarily opaque. In fact, it almost never is. Okay, not quite like that, though. So what I might do is duplicate this and then make this one the normal color. And then come in here and erase like that. See? And now it looks like the flame's coming through. So anyway, let's not get caught up on that. I have my tendency to jump around on things. Let's not do that. So I'm going to stick with this. Finish coloring this in. Duplicate it. And then we should... All right, so now I can jump to the paint brush. Let's fill this thing in, because this is the big one. I'm going to see what the red looks like. I'm curious. I don't know. I'm not 100% on the red thing yet. I'm going to see how it looks. I don't know that there's any reason not to just stick with the blue. We're going to see in a second. So, I mean, one way or another, there's going to be some color in here. So, yeah. Okay, now. All right, so let's go ahead and duplicate this. Move that. And we just have to get this. Okay, well, I'll turn these off because otherwise I can't see what I'm doing. Now this one, I don't have to be too exact with. I just have to kind of get it into the right position, and then everything else will just rotate it. And I'll clean it up because the edges won't probably be perfect, and that's okay. Cleanup is going to take a lot less time than redoing it from scratch, which, just like I said, if it's not going to get you anything, there's no reason to do it. And I used to fall into that trap where I would just redo things because I was like, oh, well, I should redo it. There was no reason to redo things. There just was not a reason. Because, see, now I've accomplished 95% of the work here. Let's see. Apparently they got the timer on. Well, that's okay. I mean, they can do timers on some things. I just don't think that they should make everything. You know, if something's really popular, I like the idea that they'll leave certain things all year. They can do timers on some of them, because I get why they do that. They want it to be something special for that time. But there's also most games when they have that, if something really is popular and people really like it, they'll make it permanent. Not all of them, but some of them. And I think that's what I'm talking about. I'm okay with that. Some of them being permanent and some not. I just don't like the idea of everything being only during certain times of the year. I understand they want to make things special, but I also think, you know, you want to have... Just because Halloween is once a year doesn't mean that somebody doesn't like a Halloween design the rest of the year. So, it's fine that way. And then what do you do with the coins? Is that used for upgrading, or is that for, like, cosmetic items? If I had to guess, I'd say it's cosmetics. Usually when they give you coins for stuff, it's either for upgrading, but a lot of times it's to buy, like, cosmetics for stuff. Typically. They don't all do that. Some have different things. Some use coins for XP, but a lot of them, I know, use it for cosmetics. Okay, is that the right one? Yes. Okay, so we'll stay with that one. Now we'll move to this one. And let's see how this one looks up close. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Not bad. Am I on that one? Yeah, I am. Okay. Not bad. Might be a little bit of edge work to do here, but not terrible. Not as much as I thought there was going to be. That's good. I gotta fix that, but I'll fix that in a minute. No, that's not bad at all. No, that looks pretty good. No bleeding on the edges or anything. Okay. Wow. That's great. Let's see. Okay, hold on a minute. Hey, Epic. Welcome to the stream. Hello. All right, so I got to fix... this is a little bit, this bled over a little bit, so let's fix that. Make sure we don't have anything more like that going on. I think the rest is okay. Wait, why does that not... Oh, there it's showing up. I'm drawing a 1000th episode cake for a podcast called This Week in Tech, or TWIT. Okay. So what I need to do is go here. So just working on the actual candles, which I'm going to play around with some colors on with it a second. Oh, hold on, I missed a spot there. Let's get that fixed. Well, it's not my show. I have not hit 1,000 shows on mine yet. That'll probably be sometime in the next year. But I'm a fan of the people who make these things, make this show. So I do little stuff here and there for them. But yeah, 1,000 episodes. It's a lot of shows. A lot of shows. Oh, that's okay. I understand. I didn't explain it fully, so I can understand why you thought I was talking about my show. No, we're at my show. We're at episode 916. I want to say 916. I think. Yeah. Let's see. Upgrade castles and other stuff. Okay. Yeah, that's what I figured. Most of the time when you get coins for stuff, that's usually what they're using it for. So that was my guess, but I know sometimes different games do different things. All right, let's make the sticks kind of a neutral color. So, oh, you know what? I just realized all these colors should be underneath that right there. There we go. All right, so now the sticks. Why do I see a black line on there? Oh, because I messed that up. Okay, that's easy to fix. Do that. On this, we have to get rid of that stick. Should not be there. There we go. And then we got to move. Is it this one? I'm assuming. Yep. Okay, so let's get the drawing back. And let's line that up. Let's see. 20 hours straight, huh? That's a long time. That is, what, 4 hours short of a day? My math is terrible. So. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, like I said, that was the other thing I was going to say. Or, if you don't use it for costumes or anything like that, a lot of times it's used to speed up leveling. That's what I meant about spending it on leveling, so that makes sense. That's fairly common. A lot of games do that. Especially like free-to-play games. That's usually what you're doing is... well, not just free-to-play games. I shouldn't say that. Most games actually now do that. They have some version of that where you can unlock things that speed up. Whether it's leveling or acquiring things, whatever it is. There's so many different ways to do stuff now. The amount of things that you can do in games now is just crazy compared to what it used to be. Because you have to remember, like I said, I'm just going to tell you how old I am. When I started playing video games, they didn't have the capacity to do any of the stuff they can do now. It's crazy how much stuff can be done now. Which is really, really wild. Good and bad. I mean, there's times where I feel like sometimes they make things unnecessarily difficult. Where they make you just grind for stuff that really isn't worth getting. There's some of that. There's a lot of that, to be honest. But then there's other times where I'm like, yeah, this is an interesting game mechanic. There's a lot of that type of stuff too. So we're doing some shading here on the sticks. I'm just doing some shading lines. I'll clean those up in a minute. They won't stay like that, of course. That's just for while I get this. Just so I can show some shadows here. So just do that. Okay. And all right, let's clean those edges up. Okay, not with that brush. That's a little bit too big. There we are. I do that all the time. Grab the wrong eraser. End up erasing a huge amount of stuff. Luckily, it just takes 2 taps to bring it back on an iPad, so that's a good thing. Doesn't really get destroyed. Not permanently, anyway. You can bring stuff back. As long as you don't close the document and reopen it. If you do that, you're in trouble. But fortunately, I didn't do that. So we're okay. You know what I want to look up? I do need to look up what. So we'll say, I just don't remember birthday number candles. I know the reference image I used. Let's take a look. There it is. Yeah, so it's basically blue. Okay. Blue to white. Did I forget a line? It's very possible. Where did I forget it? Where did I forget a line? Hold on. Let me look. No, we're good there. Good there. Good there. I think I got it all. There are some background lines. It's on the 0 next to the 1. Oh, this line here? I think that's a background. Yeah, that's a background line, but you're right. I do want to get rid of that because it doesn't look... It looks like it's blended in. So you're right. It didn't look good. It was on a different layer, but you're right. That one had to go because it looked like it was an error. So thank you. While it wasn't actually one of these lines, it was a bad line. So it had to go. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay, so it goes blue. So actually the base of these... Oh, you know what? Okay, wait a minute. Huh, okay. So it's like a deep blue. So let's go into nice deep blue here, like that. Let's get the taper pen. Let's see how this is going to work. This is going to be interesting. So we'll put that there. And then what I want to do is something like that. Okay, no. That's way, way, way too big of a brush. It has to be smaller. Let's knock that way down. It's like a 3. Do something like that. Okay, yep. So let's do something. Whoop. Okay, that's a mistake. Get rid of that. So something like this, where it's kind of coming up, and that's the base of the flame. Right? And then, but we don't want it to be quite that. So it should be more like, just looking at it, maybe not like that. Let's see. Let's see what the different effects look like. Well, that's interesting. Okay, come on. Oh, it's not bad. Just curious what it's going to look like, so we'll try some different. Well, that's really all there is, huh? Well, you know what I'll do is I think I will just go with the opacity at 75%, and then I'll take the brush here and I'll just clean that line up. Just like that. Well, oh, you know what? Wait a minute. Let's see. I'm curious about this. What does this do? 1% blur. Okay, hold on. Oop. No, I don't want to leave it like that. I want to see. Let's see here. Well, that's interesting. I don't mind that. Let me see if that's something that adjusts. It does. Hold on. Darkness has no effect. Saturation really has no effect. Well, I think what I have to do is just stick with... No, I think I'm just going to stick with that. I don't think that looks terrible. I think what I can just do is punch the brightness up a bit. There we are. Just now, the hue's okay, and then the saturation will bring. Let's bring it. Yeah, that's okay. I like that. All right, so hold on. I have to. What I got to do is put it all in place first. Hold on a second. Okay. So let's see. All right, yeah, that'll look okay. And then on the top. You know what? I'm not going to worry about the top. The top's fine. Okay. Decorations. I figured as much. Okay. Yeah, usually with stuff like that, I figure there's always those... There's sort of always the same... Not the same type of things, but you figure out that many of them have kind of similar approaches to things. As far as decorations. I mean, even back in the... And this is going back a little while, but the Team Fortress 2 days, they came up with the hats that people would get. Boy, I remember how much hats used to cost. And how, you know, people were always chasing the weird and interesting and unique hats. Which I still have ones in that game. I haven't played that game in quite a while. Actually, was kind of thinking about going back to it the other day because I know they did some kind of updates to it, but I haven't played it in so long. I had a lot of fun with that game for a long time. Let's see. Well, I mean, I'm not surprised by that because for a while it had a really bad bot problem, which I know a lot of people were upset about, and I understand that because. Yeah, I remember there was a point where there started to be a lot of bots in that game, and it got less fun to play. It really did. So I think a lot of people, including me, I stopped playing it because I was like, okay, this is clearly overrun with bots, which it was, and I think they finally are starting to address that. And I mean, and plus I played it for a long, long time. I just got to a point where I wanted to play something different. So it was more that too. It really wasn't the game was bad. It wasn't. It was still a fun game, but I kind of ran the course with it. That was when they had introduced a lot of the bot levels, and those were interesting. I didn't think the bot levels were bad. Some people really didn't like those. I think it's called Man versus Machine. MANN, because that was the name of the fictional company in the game. And those were, they were fine. But you kind of... At the time, there were only so many of them. So once you played them for a little bit, you kind of played them, and you were sort of done. So there was that part of it. And then, like I said, I just played it for so long. I don't even know how many hours I have in it. I'd have to go look, but I can tell you it's a lot. Ah, man, I am not sold. I don't know. The red color both looks good and bad to me. It does tie into the bottom of the cake. So I don't dislike it. I'm glad I'm putting it on a separate layer because I can, as I often do with these things, I will stop and look at it later and see if I still like it or don't like it. So that's why I say to people when you're doing any type of drawings, at a certain point you want to stop and walk away from it for a while and then come back to it and see if you still agree with the decisions you made, because there is a very real thing where if you're looking at something that you're working on for too long, you kind of you stop seeing it the way you should be seeing it, which is to, leave it for a little bit and come back to it. That's a problem a lot of artists have, is they just keep working on things instead of taking a break and coming back to it. It's beneficial. You should do it. All right, so now let's go ahead and do this one. I don't know, the red doesn't look bad to me. It doesn't look bad. I just have to figure out if I like it or not. And then I have to put, what's the word for it? Light layers. Actually, I can show you. So in between these, whatever I end up going with that, I need to select this color, right? And on that empty layer, let's grab this and put a dot there. And then I want to increase the brightness on that about 5%. Select that color, erase what's there, because I don't need that anymore. And then where are my pencil lines? They're here. Okay, so right about there, I'm going to take the taper pen, right? And in here, I'm going to, actually I should put this, you know what? Almost made a bunch more work for myself than I needed to. I don't need that lighter color. I just need white, because it's going to cast the light on everything. So you just want to put these real kind of simple filaments that are from the flame, right? So it would just kind of branch out, and it's okay to go outside the lines for this because I'm going to end up cleaning all this up eventually anyway. So that's the light from the candle kind of going down and around, and then we'll fill this in because there would be a lot of light there. Now what I'll do is I will cut the opacity down to about 50%. No, more like 75. Or even maybe less. No, it should be, I think 50 is right. I think 50 is good. So do 50. Now let's see what a blur looks like on that. I don't know if I'm convinced on the blur. Oh, let me turn the blur off. Let me turn the pencil lines off. And then let's go to Gaussian blur here. And let's see. If I go, well, 5% is way too much. How's 2%? Let's see what it looks like. you know what? I think I'm not going to blur it. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. I kind of like it like that. I think it looks fine as is. Don't think I need the blurring. I think people will know, looking at it, what it's supposed to be, which is the light from the candle. So I think that's fine. So no matter what, I need those light lines on every one of them. So that's pretty easy because I can just do that as a single layer. I don't need to break that up because each of them is going to have it. So make sure I'm on the right layer. I am. So I just do this. Oh. There we go. Got to put it over them. Otherwise it doesn't work. And then just make sure I'm kind of staying in the same general direction. Make the radials go out. And I'll fill the rest in white. So that'll be fine. Okay, there we go. Do the same thing right here. Turn that a little bit. Yep, there we go. And just make sure that they go in the right direction. And then do this one. Okay. All right. And we'll do this. Okay. So, all right, let me get my, I gotta fill this in. So we're gonna turn off pencil layer. And now we can just fill the rest of this in with white because we know it's gonna be solid, so that's okay. Don't need to go too crazy with the individual little lines here because we know what this is going to look like. And that will probably, right after I finish this, that will probably do it for the stream for today. That's actually a good place to leave off because I'm not gonna do any more of the red. I want to not look at that for a little bit, and I want to see if I think that red is the right red. So we'll see. There is a small possibility I will be streaming tomorrow, but I doubt it. It just the right things would have to happen for me to have the time. So I'm betting I won't, but just in case, you might see an alert tomorrow. I don't even know what time it would be if it happens, but I'm gonna say probably not, just so I don't, I don't want to promise something I don't think can happen, but can't rule it out either. So just wanted to say that just in case. Yeah, I gotta bring this down because the other ones are further. So let's go ahead and that was the first one I did. So just do that. There we go. Switch back to here. We'll clean up those empty spaces. There we are. Okay. Let's clean that. Clean that. Clean that. Let's fill that little thing in there. Okay. Yeah, that's better. That looks more consistent. Okay. And then, yeah. And I'll probably do a similar thing on the bottom, except this will be shadows this time. So, oh, you know what though? I won't do it with those lines. I kind of do it like this, where it's going to just be like a thing that follows this, and then do the same kind of drop down to like 25% or so. Yeah, something like that. Just for some shadowing, since there's light on the top, just to give it a little bit of, dimension, just a bit. I may get rid of this. I may decide, this is what I mean. This is one of these things I'm going to put in, and I'm going to see if I actually like it when I look at it the next time. I may decide I don't need this. May not need shadowing. We'll see. Yeah, we'll decide. I don't know whether that makes it look like it's clear, which is not the point, because it's following the cake line really closely. So I think no matter what, I think I have to do something like that, or actually like that, because that looks like it's part of the cake now, which I don't want it to look like. It just should look like it's got some shadow to it. Yeah, more like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna now. I think this is a good place to bring this to a close because I wanna think about want to come back and look at it again later. Yeah. All right, so pop that screen. Okay. Well, thank you for stopping by. Oh, just about almost an hour, so I was planning about 45 minutes, so we did okay. Not bad at all. So, thank you for coming by, and so thank you Furcorn and Skippy and Epic. And if you're watching this later, thank you for coming by later, because I appreciate, well, I can't really talk, so I guess I don't know what I am, but I appreciate, to use the word I was trying to say correctly, I appreciate anybody coming by. So thank you for coming by and hanging out for a bit. And like I said, there may be a stream tomorrow, but I almost don't wish I hadn't said anything because I don't think there's going to be. But, you know, everybody gets alerted, I guess. So there's notifications. So if I do, you'll see it. And if not, then it'll be back to usual next week. Yeah. So hopefully, if you're watching this live, it is a Friday. So as I said, the Skippy, have a wonderful weekend. And anybody else watching this later, depending on when you see it, there might be a weekend coming. So if there is, have a great weekend. If it's the beginning of the week or it's Tuesday, because I post these afterwards on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if you're seeing this on a Tuesday, then I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. If you're seeing this on Thursday, well, the weekend's coming up. So I hope you have a great weekend when it shows up in just a couple days. And if you're watching this live, then the weekend is starting, well, maybe right now for you. It started for me right now. So have a great weekend, a great English. Someday I'll get it down. I've only been speaking it for 46 years, but, well, realistically more like 40. But, no, more like 43. I think I started speaking when I was 3, I think is when I started talking. In any event, thank you for being here. Live or later doesn't matter to me. After you're done watching this, live or after the fact, go find somebody else who's doing something creative, because it's good for you to experience creativity. If you can't be creative yourself, go watch somebody else doing something, drawing, making music, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's good for you. And be creative yourself in whatever way you can, because I think even things that we don't think are creative, if it lets you think a little bit differently and do something different and be creative in your expression, it's good for you. So go do that. Have a great rest of your either week or weekend. Thank you again for stopping by and hanging out and supporting the channel just by viewing something, because I know that does something for all the analytics and whatever. I don't understand how all of it works. It's fine. I don't need to understand how a lot of it works. But I appreciate you coming by and watching or hanging out. And on that note, again, thanks for being here. We'll see you on the next stream. And until then, take care.